Alright, so let's do an 8N update. So we're waiting for parts, waiting for money and waiting for parts. I've got the engine ready for the new oil pump. I went through every single hole in the block for the oil pan, chased every hole, cleaned everything out, cleaned the mating surfaces everywhere, getting it all ready to go. And I started running out of parts, and so I decided to mix up some paint, and I started painting. So this is the color I came up with. It's not quite the factory color, but I think it works pretty well. It's got a little bit of a kind of a red tinge to it. I don't know if you can see in the video, but it's kind of Marlia called it taupe. Maybe that's accurate. I don't know. So anyway, I took the hood and the dog legs, gas tank and everything, pressure washed it. Here's the tank, probably just going to leave it like that for now. I took out the rusty rim that was on this side, which is on the ground now, prepped and painted it, and I did the fender while it was off, if you can see that, but it looks decent. And this is what, oh here, maybe there you can see that. And that's the old color. The old color was like multiple colors. And here are the rest of the components that are already painted. Some of the engine related stuff should not be that color, like the timing cover there, and the other half of the timing cover, the pulley, those things. I just wanted to paint them a decent bright color, make sure they don't rust, and so I can actually see if there's any leaks in the engine. Be easier to see when it's all covered up. So that's what it looks like there. There's the hood. Hood turned out alright. Actually, it looks pretty good underneath, too. I'm not going for perfect, just going for better than it was. Less rust, and easier to see what's going on inside there. And then I started taking apart the spindles and wheel bearings, and I found something interesting this morning. So, took the wheel off, which was completely rusted on. Had to beat it off with a mini sledge. There's the wheel from the opposite side. There's the other one painted. And when I took it off, I got down to the hub, and I figured, well, I'll just take the hub off and check the bearings, right? Well, this is what came out of it. And it actually spun alright, and it didn't seem like it had a lot of slop, so I was trying to figure out, okay, well, if the front bearing, there's the race for it, if that front bearing's completely shot, how did it do anything? How did it spin without binding? Well, here's, never seen this. You wouldn't see this on an automotive because it would probably grind itself to death in 10 miles, and the wheel would lock up. But this, look at the scoring in there. So what happened was, I started looking at it more closely, and what happened was the castle nut actually acted as the bearing, more or less. Since that front bearing was completely shot, this should not look all rounded off like that. That was grinding into the cap. It was actually wearing in the cap. So the bearings are shot. The seal's pretty much shot, but I'm not going to worry about the seal. Probably just get a new bearing for it and pack it with some good grease, and we'll see how she does after that. Just out of curiosity, I looked at the other side, pulled it apart, and it's pretty gross, but it's got oil-ish stuff in it. There's the front bearing that should have been there. I have the inner part of the bearing inside. And that one looks okay. Actually, there's no scoring on the shaft, the one that had the destroyed outer bearing. So the shaft's fine. Yeah, back in here, this is the one that actually has the good bearing. And this is another interesting thing. Oh, maybe it just fell out. Yeah, a big chunk of it just fell out. So there's, oh, jeez. This is what's coming out of this stuff, dude. I don't know if it's a mixture of grease, water, dirt. I mean, who knows? Who knows the last time this thing was pulled apart? This is what makes tractors fun to work on.